Hello guys, my name is Anita and today we are covering the second part of Developer Fundamentals called Declarative and Programmatic Customization. This is our agenda for today. We will cover the following topics: declarative customization, programmatic customization, simple and complex scenarios, scenarios and solutions, formula fields, and roll up summary fields. One of the key strengths of Salesforce is its ability to be customized to meet the specific needs of an organization. Customization in Salesforce can be achieved through two primary approaches: declarative and programmatic customization. Firstly, let's take a look at some facts and Salesforce recommendation for choosing between declarative and programmatic customization. Declarative customization is possible using tools such as Process Builder, Flow Builder, Workflow Rule, and Approval Process. For programmatic customization, Apex Visual Force or custom Lightning components can be utilized. For simple use cases, such as performing a simple record validation or updating a record automatically, declarative customization can be used. For complex requirements, such as invoking a web service or creating a sophisticated user interface, programmatic customization can be used. If a declarative tool can meet a requirement, it should be preferred. If it's not possible to meet a requirement declaratively, code should be used. Declarative customization refers to the ability to customize Salesforce using the platform's point and click tools and configuration settings. Declarative customization is faster to implement, requires little to no coding, and is easier to maintain. So, as I mentioned before, we have various tools such as Flow Builder, Process Builder, Workflow Rule, and Approval Processes. In general, they should be used just to meet simple requirements that do not require complex logic or processing. Now we will go through some common use cases of declarative customization. For example, if you want to display the average of a number of related records, you should use a roll-up summary field together with a formula field. If you want to display the sum or count of a number of related records, you should use a roll-up summary field. If you want to ensure that a field value has a valid format, you should definitely use regex function in the validation rule. If you want to validate that a country code is a valid code, you should use a validation rule that contains a function. And if you want to ensure that a reason is entered before closing an opportunity, you should definitely use again validation rule. Programmatic customization is used to meet complex requirements as extending platform features, creating a custom user experience, supporting complex business processes, add custom functionality, implement complex or custom transactional logic. And for that, you can use Apex, Visualforce, Aura components, and Lightning Web components. These are some use cases of programmatic customization. If you want to create a custom email service, custom web service, or a complex validation, you should definitely use Apex. If you want to create a custom user interface, a report with a custom format, or define custom navigation patterns, you should use Visualforce. And you should use Lightning component in following scenarios. If you want to create a custom UI for Lightning experience, if you want to extend the Salesforce app with custom functionality, build apps with sophisticated UI using CSS, add client-side functionality in Lightning experience, override standard action in Lightning experience, or build a sophisticated UI for a Lightning community. Now we will go through some simple and complex scenarios based on the requirement. So if you need to automatically create or update a record in some simple scenario, you will use Flow Builder. In some complex scenario, you would use Apex Trigger. If you want to automatically delete a record, you should use a Flow in simple scenario and Apex Trigger in complex scenario. The same goes if you want to execute custom logic before a record is deleted. If you want to process an email to case, in simple scenario, you should definitely use a configuration of email to case, and for some complex scenario, email handler in Apex. If you want to create a custom report, you should use Report Builder in some simple scenarios and Visual Force Page custom lighting component in some complex scenarios. If you want to schedule a job for a simple scenario, you should use Flow, and in a complex scenario, you should use Apex Scheduler. If you want to share a record, you should use sharing rule, manual sharing, and Teams for simple scenario, and Flow or Apex Managed Sharing for complex scenario. All of this might be very confusing at the beginning, but don't worry, we will cover some simple and complex scenarios so you will get into it. So, our first scenario is that if we want a new section with new custom fields to be displayed on the account detail page, we should definitely go with the page layout because it can be easily customized to add a new section with custom fields. For the complex scenario, if you want the existing detail page to be replaced with a new highly customized page that uses a different format, you should definitely go with a Visual Force page that can be customized according to requirements. This is our next scenario. A user requires a report in a tabular format consisting of all the closed opportunities in the system. You should use Report Builder to create a tabular report on a standard or custom object. For more complex scenario, you will need a report with a custom format used by the business needs to be generated and rendered as a PDF file on a page. You should definitely use Visual Force Code because it can be rendered as a PDF file as well. For the next scenario, we have all emails received by a business on a particular email account need to be converted into cases. The standard email to case functionality can be utilized for this use case. For complex scenario, a record needs to be created based on record information in an email message received by a business. You should go with the Apex email service as it allows the use of custom logic to process the contents of inbound email. The highest opportunity amount needs to be displayed on a related account. A roll-up summary field of type max can be created on the account object for this use case, and we will talk about roll-up summary fields later. For complex scenario, we have that the opportunity with the highest amount in the org at the time an opportunity is being created needs to be displayed on the new record. So this more complex scenario, we should definitely go with an Apex trigger that can be created on the opportunity object to display the opportunity with the highest amount in a custom field. Next, we have a custom field on related contact records that needs to be updated whenever an account is updated. Again, we should definitely use Flow Builder when we have some simple scenarios like this. And for the complex scenario, we might have hundreds of thousands of records of an unrelated object need to be updated when a product record is updated in an org. So, of course, we should use Apex for execution operations that require high performance. Now let's take a look at formula fields. Formula fields are custom fields that automatically provide results based on records and related records. They are read-only fields and are calculated based on fields and expressions specified in the formula and the values present in those fields. It calculates the latest data when it is viewed or when any of the source fields changes. More interestingly, they can also be used in reports or SQL queries. Formula fields can be of the following types: checkbox, currency, date, datetime, number, percent, text, or time. These are the steps of creating formula field. Navigate to Object Manager and find your desired object, for example, account. Then go to Fields and Relationships section and click on the New button on the right side. Then choose a formula as a field type. Next step will be choosing the formula return type, and voila! Now you just need to write down your formula. We have two types of formulas: simple and advanced formula. Simple formulas are used for basic calculations and operations. They can include arithmetic operations such as addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division, as well as string manipulations. Simple formulas primarily work with fields within the same record. You can reference and use data from the current record to perform calculations or create new values. Simple formulas are relatively easy to create and understand. You don't need extensive programming knowledge to work with simple formulas. Complex formulas are used when you need more advanced logic or calculations. They can reference fields from related objects through lookup and master detail relationships. This makes them more versatile for working with data across multiple records. Complex formulas support a wide range of functions and operators to create complex, multi step calculations. These are some of the use cases of formula fields. It can concatenate the values of fields and strings using the ampersand or concatenate operator. It can obtain the value of a field that belongs to a parent record from the child record. It can obtain the value of a field from a related object up to 10 relationships away. It can perform date calculations, such as calculating the difference between dates, finding the month from a date, and adding days or months to a date. It can display images based on certain values, for example, traffic light indicator based on a certain field value. It can use conditional logic, for example, an if statement to calculate values. They can also determine a value from a set of values, for example, determining a region from the billing state. They can create a URL link based on the field value. Also, they can calculate commission amounts based on the value of other fields, such as the user role and opportunity amount. They can perform the conversion of a given currency to the corporate currency. They can be used also for removing formatting from a field value or creating a formatted address, including spaces and line breaks based on a country value. They can perform conversions such as a tempered conversion or converting miles to kilometers. What are the limitations of formula fields? A formula field can contain up to 3,900 characters only, including spaces, return characters, and comments. Fields that are referenced in a formula field cannot be deleted. Deletion requires removing the field from the formula. A field value cannot depend on another formula that references it. Formula fields cannot use long text area, encrypted, or description fields. It is not possible to search a formula field using any type of search, such as global or sidebar search. Roll-up summary fields in Salesforce are a powerful feature used to perform calculations on related records and summarize the data on a master record. These fields are useful in scenarios where you want to aggregate data from child records and display it on a parent record, simplifying reporting and providing valuable insights. Here are some key points about roll-up summary fields. It can only be created on a master object in a master detail relationship or on some standard relationships such as opportunity product and account opportunity. It calculates the sum, min, max, or record count value of a field. It can be added like other custom fields to page layouts, views, or reports. There are a maximum of 25 roll-up fields per object. They're not available on lookup relationships or on some certain types of formula fields. Now let's get into rollup summary types. Count. This rollup type calculates the number of child records in the master detail relationship. Sum calculates the sum of all values in a specific field on the records of a particular related object. When creating a sum rollup summary field, the summarized object must be defined and the rollup type must be set to sum. An optional filter criteria can be added. Max. This rollup type calculates the highest value of a specific field on child record. For instance, list price from the opportunity product object can be summarized on the opportunity object to find the product with the highest price related to an opportunity. At the opposite, we have min that calculates the lowest value of a specific field of child record. Here are some limitations of rollup summary fields. It is not support for all standard relationships. Rollup summary fields are not available on custom lookup relationships. The field being rolled up cannot be a formula field that contains dynamic date functions such as now and today. The field being rolled up cannot be a formula field that reference a field on another object, like cross objects fields reference. By default, the maximum number of rollup summary fields allowed on each object is 25, but user can contact Salesforce support to increase it up to 40. The field can only be created on an object that is on the master side of a master detail relationship. But here is how we can overcome the limitations. You can use automation tools, like Flow Builder can be utilized, for example, to process child records in a lookup relationship. Or you could use Apex Trigger on various DML events on the child object. Then you can use Batch Schedule Apex. Or you can use third-party tools such as the Rollup Helper that can be downloaded from the App Exchange. And that will be it for today. Thank you for watching, and I really hope that you like my video. So if you want to continue watching new episodes, please subscribe on channel.